Jeez. Hi, my name's James and I'm a full-time crochet pattern designer, crochet tutor, and I like to make weird things with my patterns. So today I'm going to cover one of the main techniques used in Octavia here, which is the hexagon, the African Granny Hexagon, or there's lots of names. You get the idea. But there's a few different shapes used in this, like there's a 7 here, there's an 8 on the bottom, you know, because it's an octopus and 8 legs. But it'd be weird if I didn't include it, you know. But for this one, I'm only going to cover the 6 because it is really the most common one you're going to come across. Let's get started. Starting off, we're going to be using Aran weight yarn. You can use whatever you like with your respective hooks, but I'm going to go with a size 5 hook and Aran weight. With that in mind, let's get started on what you need. You'll need your Aran weight yarn, 5 hook, and a scissors. You can go with a load of different colours. Personally, I prefer to have the flower all in one colour and then a border colour included as well. So I'm going to be doing just 2 colours for this project. Starting off, we're going to need a magic ring. If you don't know how to make a magic ring, then I do have a tutorial on my channel that's quite helpful for beginners. But if you do, I know there's a million different ways you can do them. So by all means, tackle it whatever way you want. Once you have your magic ring, we're going to make 3 chains, and then this will count as a double crochet. So from here, what we're going to do is into the magic ring, we're going to yarn over and work a double crochet in here. All the terms I'm going to be using today are US terms, for the reason being it's more common, you know. From here, 2 chains after you've got your first 2 double crochet, chain 2, yarn over and back into the magic ring again. And we're going to make 2 more double crochet. And then we will chain 2. And we're going to repeat that until we have 6 of these sections. From here, what we're going to do is close our magic ring. So pull it closed. And it should be nice and tidy like that. From here, what we're going to do is use a slip stitch to join into the top of our first chain 3. So pop your hook in, yarn over, and pull through everything on your hook. Now, what we want for our round 2 is for our starting position to be inside this chain space. So what we're going to do is work a slip stitch into the next stitch here, straight through, and then again into this chain space here. So that's 2 slip stitches after you close the round to move over to this as our starting position. For starting round 2, what we're going to do is chain 3. And then this will count as a double crochet again. And we're going to add 1 more double crochet into this chain space before we chain 1. And then work another 2 double crochet into this chain space. And we're going to repeat that in every single one of the 6 chain spaces in this round. So to cover that once more, we're going to yarn over and work 2 double crochet in here, chain 1, and another 2 double crochet into the same chain space. Repeat that for the full round, and I'll catch up with you once we fill this last spot. Now that we're at the last chain space, what we're going to do is use a slip stitch to close out this round again. So in the top of your chain 3 that you started with, yarn over and pull through everything to close out the round. So this is what we should look like after round 2. For the starting point in our next round, what we're going to want to do is work another slip stitch in the next stitch, and then again into this chain 1 space that we made in between our pairs of double crochet. So our starting point should be right here. For the start of the next round, what we're going to do is chain 3, and this counts as double crochet. And now in this same chain space, we're going to work 6 more double crochet. So yarn over and in, and repeat that until you have a total of 7 double crochet in that chain space. So we are at 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now, from here, what we're going to do is, you'll see each of the pairs of double crochet from your first round. There's a gap just above them here, in between where we joined our chain spaces in the previous round. What we're going to do is put a slip stitch into this gap, not into the stitch, but in between where the stitches meet. So pop your hook straight through, yarn over, and pull through everything. And what that'll do is pull this down into this sort of fan petal shape. And from here, what we're going to do is start working directly into the next chain 1 space with 7 more double crochet. And same again, we're going to find that gap directly above the pair of double crochet from our first round, in between here. Pop your hook through, yarn over, and make a slip stitch. And you can see now that fan sort of taking shape. So all we're going to do is move on to the next chain space and repeat that for a full round. And once we have our last chain space full, I'll catch up with you. So once we get to here, and I'll show you how to join in here. With all of our petals complete, what we're going to do is find the last space above these 2, make our slip stitch right through everything, and then in the first chain 3 that we made, same as before, we're going to pop our hook in and yarn over and make a slip stitch, and that should pull that one down into a little fan as well. And that's the main part of the flower done. We're going to move on to the border now. So from here, what you can do is tie off your primary color. I usually just do a double knot just to make sure it doesn't unravel. I know it's not as neat and tidy and lovely to look at, but especially if I'm making toys or clothes, I'd rather it be sturdy than being 100% perfect. Now we're on to cream, and from here, what we're going to do is pick any of the petals, because we're going to have a different starting point. So pick any of the petals. I'm just going to go with this one here, and we're going to count to the 4th double crochet in this set. So to do that, we're going to go right to where the slip stitch is, and under here is how we're going to find it. So you can see the little gap here from the slip stitch to the first stitch. That's how we'll find the first one. We'll just pull them apart. So 1, 2, 3. So this is our 4th here. And what we'll do is pop our hook in, and this is where we're going to tie on. This is our starting point. So make your slip knot, pop it on your hook, and to tie on, we're just going to chain 1, because our starting stitch is going to be a single crochet. So chain 1. Now in this starting stitch, over to the same 4th double crochet here is going to be a repeated sequence. So from here across, there's going to be a set of stitches, I'll include them on screen, that we're going to repeat in each of the stitches across. That'll repeat for all 6 sides. So for a little bit more context on that, we're going to start off the sequence and it'll make a bit more sense as we go along. So the first one, we're going to work 2 single crochet, and then in the next stitch, a single crochet. In the following stitch, we're going to do just 1 more single crochet. In the next, we're going to do a half double crochet. The reason being, you'll see in between these petals, there's a bit of a dip, which is what you want from the petals. But if we worked the single crochet the whole way around, what would happen is that the stitches would sort of drop in and it would struggle to make a straight edge. So this taller stitch here is going to help us keep a straight edge as we're going across. The next stitch we're going to do is a double crochet, but we're going to work it into this gap down here under our slip stitch in between the petals. So to do that, we're going to yarn over and pop our hook all the way down here, and grab, pull back, and yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. So you'll see now that it's still keeping a nice straight edge as it's coming across. Next is a half double crochet. Two singles, 1 and 2, 1 in each stitch, and this is when it repeats. So the sequence is 2 single crochet, single, single, half double, double, half double, single, single. I'll include it on screen, but if you need to pause it, feel free. What I'll do is I'll go through it once more on this side, and then I'll join you at the end to show you how to close out the round. So for one more, this is the 4th double crochet. So we're starting again, 2 singles. The reason we do 2 here is it gives us a bit of a point on the corner. Next is a single, and then a single, half double, double into the gap down below the slip stitch, and then a half double, single, and a single, and then the pattern repeats. So you'll see now that it's creating straight edges along each side, but it also keeps this point because we put 2 single crochet here in the corner. All you need to do now is just repeat these sides, and I'll catch up with you here at the end. Once you've reached the end of the round, what we're going to do is just work another slip stitch into our first stitch to close it out. So pop your hook in, yarn over, and we're going to pull through everything on our hook. And that's your first row of the border done. Now technically you could leave them like this, but personally I prefer to put a bit of a tidier border on it so that there's a bit more space in between each flower, just to give them a bit of room to breathe in a project. If you put them a little bit too close, I find that sometimes it gets a bit swallowed and you can't really see what's going on. So from here, what we're going to do is chain 3 for the start of our next round. And this is the easiest round. So from here we have 2 single crochet in this starting stitch. In the first stitch we're going to work a double crochet again. So we have 2 here. We're going to chain 1, and in the next stitch we're also going to work 2 double crochet. These pairs of double crochet will only be worked in the corners, so in each of the pairs of single crochet in the same stitch. So once we get to here, you can see the 2 in the same stitch. It'll be 2 here, chain 1 and 2 here, and the same on the next corner and the next. But I'll go through the full side now, because the only thing you need to do when you're going in between these corners is a double crochet in each stitch. So it's double here, here, you could go with other stitches for this as well, like you go with single crochet or a half double or even a treble. I personally prefer the double just because it's just enough to break it up, but it's also an enjoyable stitch to work on. I'm not going to lie and say that it's any fancy technical reason. I just quite enjoy working on these stitches. I started with granny squares, so it was bound to happen that I became obsessed with this one in particular. Now with that section complete, you've got your starting pair of double crochet, a chain 1, and then another pair of double crochet in these 2 single crochet in the same stitch. And then in between each of these corners, there's going to be 7 double crochet across the edge. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're on to the 2 pairs again, or the 2 in the pair. So we'll make 2 pairs of double crochet. So double crochet into here, and another double crochet. And we're going to chain 1. And the next stitch, double crochet and double crochet, and that's it for the whole round. So now we're just going to do a double crochet in each of these stitches for the next 7, and then once we get back to the corner, repeat this section here. Once we get to the end, I'll show you how to close it out, but I'm sure you have an idea of where this is. What we're going to do is in the top of our starting chain 3, pop your hook straight through, yarn over, and pull through everything on your hook. And there you go. That's it. You can tie off. From here, you can join them together in a few different ways. Personally, I prefer to go with a sewing needle, or a darning needle, I should say. But that's really up to personal preference. Some people like to do it with slip stitches or single crochet, whatever you prefer. But there you go. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. And if you have any questions at all, please leave a comment, like, share, all that sort of stuff. Let me know what you think. I'm still fairly new to this, so any pointers too or opinions, they're always welcome. Thanks so much.